coming through.
Chain like frozen punch. It's not a man alive that wanna see Rand survive. Next time this man's deprived, he gon' be on channel 5.
And in particular, never said much, just analyzed the curriculum.
M16, Styles
How did you get
P.
that name? How did I get that name?
Yeah, Wild Bill.
In the building. New episode. Untold Facts. M16 and Wild Bill. What's good, Bill?
What's good? We in the building.
You know what I'm saying?
Live. Y'all could call in. Y'all could share. Y'all could do your things. We're here to answer any questions. Just shoot at us, you know.
That's
Basically,
a fact.
we're gonna hit up on the trending topic right now. We got a few topics we're gonna hit on. But right now, this whole Pistol Pete and Fat Joe situation with them capping, that seems like everybody on my page, my YouTube page, BX Wild Bill,
You already
is into. You know, they got a lot of comments. They got a lot to say on that. You know?
So we gonna get into that. You know what I'm saying? And this the show right here, Untold Facts. As y'all can see, we levitating, we elevating. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe the video. You know what I mean? Like my boy Bill said, we about to get into this topic. You know what I mean? With
What? Pistol Pete?
Pistol Pete. You know what I'm saying? Talking about how he cut a bunch of black people in the yard and made people go in and all of that. You know what I mean? We calling it cap. So, you know what I'm saying? Call in. I mean, we chop it up.
All right. You know what I'm saying? We also going to talk about, we're going to give you we're going to talk about relationships. Remy Ma and Papoose. We're going to talk about that a little bit.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, get your take on that. Because everybody is in some type of relationship. So we want your views on that to make sure, you know, or get your opinion on the Remy Ma and the Papoose.
Yeah.
You know, how y'all feel about that. You know,
That's a
this
fact.
is something that affect our peoples.
Yeah.
So now you could call in and we got any questions. We're gonna start talk about this whole Pistol Pete and him capping.
Yeah, so let's get into it, man. So he said basically, if y'all ain't see the video, you know, Pistol Pete, the Pistol Pete that's down with Fat Joe, said how he made everybody lock in to their cell while he went out and, you know what I'm saying, held his boy down because his boy got cut by a black dude and he went and cut a bunch of black dudes. But it's mad hoes in the story. You know what I mean? Like, for one, he told everybody to lock in. Like, everybody not just gonna lock in. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you ain't make no type of agreement with them. Everybody waiting to go wreck and do their thing. They've been in the cell all day. So.
Yeah, let me tell you. First of all, you know, I was in the heart of this Hispanic and Black war. They say it was Bloods and Lion King, but it was a whole Black and Spanish movement. So it was deeper than the Bloods. It was deeper than the Lion Kings. Because what happened was the Spanish people started getting numbers and they started oppressing the blacks, not letting blacks live. And they was taking advantage of the situation. And the blacks, you know, we separate 2, 3 deep here, 2, 3 deep there. You know, we didn't have numbers like that. So the Spanish, when they by them oppressing us and them sticking together, they forced the blacks to come together. And when the blacks came together, we were so strong. So the Bloods wasn't started with just, we blood, this, that, and third. The Bloods had a lot of help getting their weight up and getting their numbers up. You had the 5%ers, you had the Muslims that was helping them, because I'm Muslim, and you had the renegade Muslims that was there, that was helping, you know, fueling the war with the Spanish. So it was more like a racist thing. It wasn't no Lion King or blood thing. But fast forward, Pete, you know, it went up north. It was on the island, went up north, and Pistol Pete, he felt the way. He had a choose team. You know, he had a few people he was dealing with. And like he said, somebody got cut, and they wanted revenge. It was a lot of anger and a lot of hate at the time with the people. You know, so then that the whole black and Spanish, it was a whole lot of hatred. You know, the jails were split up, and even if you was cool with blacks or Spanish, you was black, you was cool with Spanish. I grew up around a lot of Spanish. Even if you was cool with the Spanish, sometimes you was forced to choose teams if you wasn't able to defuse the situation, and sometimes you couldn't defuse the situation. But if Pistol Pete was strong and say he was doing his thing like that, and he really messed with blacks, you know, that could have been a one-on-one when his man got cut. It ain't had to be no war, as he's saying, but it wasn't no war. You know, but he's sitting here saying that he ain't racist, he messed with blacks, you know. It's possible you could mess with blacks, but you're going to have a certain kind of hatred because jail installed that in your heart, you know, because you had to choose teams. You wasn't neutral. And from what I hear, you was Lion King, and now you want some kill all rat shit, you know.
Yeah. But I don't know if it was a publicity stunt or something he just said to, you know what I mean, go viral, but, you know what I'm saying? We live by a code, man. You don't gotta do nothing to go viral. Just be yourself, man. You don't got a cap to go viral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of people that been there, you know what I'm saying, they gonna see holes in the story, and that's what happened. So
yeah, Kasaki is that's a whole different animal. Kasaki, everybody's on point, everybody's on edge. That's a adolescent penitentiary, and with this penitentiary, you got a lot of hotheads in it. Yeah. Everybody's on go time just about. And they got like a bunch of young blacks that's just hotheaded, just on go time. And like I said, you're not coming in there and you're not doing nothing to nobody. The jail is too small, first of all. Mm-hmm. So you coming in there, you saying you planted the flag, that was all cap. You know, like I said before, you ain't just planting the flag. First of all, how you getting through the security? They not letting you come to the cat. You got to go through metal detector. You got to go get searched. Yeah. So how they letting you bring a blanket inside the yard?
And that's another thing. He said he cut an inmate that he had beef with while the guards was holding him, while the COs was holding him. You know what I mean?
That's cap, because they going to make sure the whole area in any jail system, before they move an inmate shackled up, they going to make sure the area is secure. So you're not running down on nobody.
I guess we got a caller. That's a caller right there.
All right, we got a live caller right here. We live, you know.
Yeah, let's get
Salute, Wild Bill, man. Respect to y'all brothers. I respect y'all platform and what y'all doing. I was seeing y'all was talking about the situation with the dude Pistol Pete, and you know the situation. I believe he said it was in Comstock.
It was Kasaki.
I don't know what year he talking about this was supposed to have happened. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a few years in the 80s, something had happened between Puerto Rican brothers and black brothers. You know what I'm saying? Mm. And then this brought about the chapter of the Latin Kings inside of New York State Prison. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you look, and you might talk to some of the first Latin Kings that was, you know, around that time in New York State Prison, their first lessons was like guard body lessons. Like, who is the original man? You know what I'm saying? The original man is a Puerto Rican man and stuff that towards that nature. So I'm not sure if that's what he's trying to talk about or he's trying to bring that about, because brothers always talk about how the Bloods came about. You know what I'm saying? But the Latin Kings came about from oppression too in New York State prison system. You know what I'm saying? If you could talk to brothers that was around that time, you know what I mean? Nobody never really hits on that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I respect it. You know what I'm saying? I respect what y'all saying. And like you said, I've been to New York State correctional facilities, but I haven't been to Comstock. You know what I'm saying? I know I've been in Attica, I've been in Clinton, and what y'all saying is actual fact. The towers want to clap you. You not, especially in Attica. I don't know how Comstock runs, but I heard like it's hard to get to the yard in Comstock. They'll pull you out, and sometimes the whole line will stop just so the officers won't do nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? I've heard about that. You know what I'm saying? I haven't witnessed that. But I know in Attica, he would have got shot in the yard. He did that.
Yeah.
I know in Elmira, you know what I'm saying? Certain places he would have got shot. You know what I'm saying? The tower is not going to let it just be a riot period. You know what I'm saying? And nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? I heard you mention the brother K. Bourne before when you was talking about this. That was my partner, man. You talking about K Born from Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, from Fort Greene, tall Cape Born. He used to have the gold teeth.
Light skin.
Light skin, tall Cape Born. Official
He
dude.
got a raspy voice.
Yeah.
He used to have the dreads that come on the side. He had to put him up in the bun because the CEOs had pulled some of his hair out in the top.
Yeah, when he
I
came
know
through, he had
K-Born, brother.
K-Born
That's
came.
the guy.
K-Born came through. He was on the island with me back in I think he came through 93, 92. Or he came back through. He had got shot up. He was locked up for putting some work. He got a lot of time, gave it back. But yeah, K-Born official Brooklyn dude. You probably talk about the same one.
You know anything? Like, it's something with him and Howard Stern. You know what I'm saying? If that's the same K-Born. You know what I'm saying? Something happened with him and Howard Stern back in, you know what I'm saying, today, if that's the same K-Born. But yeah, I know K-Born. That was one of my comrades, man. Word.
Yo.
But I respect y'all brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? I know you moving in a positive direction and trying to educate people. It's not like we glorifying this. You know what I'm saying? And I respect y'all, man. Y'all stay safe. Man, respect and love, man. Y'all keep doing y'all thing,
good
man.
brother. Respect.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Respect, man. Blessings.
Yeah, man, we appreciate the call, man. 848-480-6371. You know what I mean? Call in. I mean, we touching on the Pistol Pete topic. I mean, we say he did in Kasaki. My boy was talking about crime stock, but
Comstock, yeah, it ain't happening in Comstock, but Comstock, that was called Gladiator School. It's like when you go to Comstock, not to jump off the subject, but when you go to Comstock, it's like it's a cloud over that joint, and it's always there. And when you go to Comstock, you got, I don't know if the CEO Germ is still there, but Germ was a high-ranking officer in the military. He's a regular CEO, but all the lieutenants and captains and all that, they was under him in the military. So Germ runs the jail, and they be behind the cells, listening to things, cutting off board, doing a whole lot of stuff. But they make an example. Every bus that come into Comstock at that time in the mid-'90s, early '90s, whatever the case may be, they made sure they made an example and put hands and feet on somebody and let you know. Like when we tell you to stop, you stop. We don't care what you doing to other inmates. They was serious, and they was bodying people too. Yeah. They was killing people. So the New York State prison system, you go in there, don't be that herb. It ain't guaranteed you going home.
Yeah.
You know, so it ain't
it
about.
just went viral, the inmate that got murdered by the correctional officer. In Marcy, yeah. So.
And it don't matter what jail you in. You could be in the medium, you could be in the max. It's going down. They all them police are the same.
Yeah.
You know, and we going to war with each other when the actual enemy is dumb. Because they're going to let us fight each other, stab each other up, and then when they come in, they're going to hurt you. You know, and this is a common thing with New York State. It's just starting to get exposed now. Like in Kasaki, I tell dudes, you had two sergeants, the Chase brothers. One worked this similarly where the center yard is, and you had the other lieutenant, the brother, he worked the box. And they wasn't playing no games. They was actually killing inmates, making inmates come up missing. Now, it came to light, and now they both in jail, or at least one of them in jail, because when I was in Clinton, we used to see him walking through APPU. That's an involuntary PC. And you can see them when they go into the shower house, when they go into the yard, we in the yard, and we on the phones, you can see the little alleyway they walk through. So they got convicted for that thing. So this ain't just start. And then we could talk about the 16 bodies they found under Clinton Gym. You know, when they say, I wasn't there at the time, but inmates were saying, people I know saying, yo, the warden used to walk around with a whole goon squad, a gun on his hip, in a Rockweller. You're not even supposed to have a gun in the jail, but he come through and he wasn't playing no games. They got a history in Clinton of body and do. So it's like Attica, the Attica riots. It's like it's not guaranteed you make it home. So all these kids out here playing on the streets thinking shit is sweet, when they get these numbers and you got to do them, because once they give it a number, it's over. You got to handle that. They don't care if you 19, 20, 25. They're going to send you with dudes that been up north for years that got them same kind of numbers and they ain't never going home.
That's a fact. So be careful out there. All y'all youngins out there, don't be a leader, not a follower. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't about just being a leader, being a follower. Do something positive, you know.
Yeah,
and I always promote that. Like I'm gonna have set up a channel. I'm gonna have one of these days. I'm gonna set up a channel where I could talk about how I'm successful and where I'm at right now. What I've been through. I've been through a whole bunch of hell, whole bunch of trials and tribulations. but now I'm a successful homeowner. And I'm gonna break it down one of these days what you got to do as far as dealing with the lenders, dealing with the realtors, and the steps that you have to take to get your own property. Because that's what's about owning stuff.
Owning stuff and everything like that. Ownership is important. But like I was saying, though, you know, be a leader. Don't follow. If you see somebody doing the wrong thing, have heart enough to say, nah, I'm not going down that route. If you a youngin', you know what I'm saying, and you see your boys doing the wrong thing, be intelligent enough to say, you know what, I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Have enough heart to say, you know what, I'm going to go this way. And I know that's not always easy. You know, people, I know your friends, you know, your peers, they look at you some type of way, but they going to respect you more if you stand on your own too and be your own person. That's all I was saying. But go ahead, continue, Bill.
Yeah, be your own man.
You know, entrepreneurship, that's very important. And that's what we trying to do here.
They say, right, these drug dealers out here that's hustling. Well, I don't know about these new drug dealers, but the old drug dealers, they say we went through so much because we got to watch for the stick-up kids, we got to watch for the competition, we got to watch for police. And if you could do all that, you could work your job. You could be the leader of a Fortune 500 company.
That's
you
a
got
fact.
the intelligence to be a leader. And, you know, we got to start thinking what we going to do for our family, what we going to do for our kids. And my thing is, if I had to go somewhere I can't take my kids, I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm too old, and I have too much to live. I have something to live for now. I have something. I have my kids to live for now.
That's right.
You know, I got a lot of stuff to lose. I'm not rich, but I'm all right. You know, and we're gonna get back to, like I said, this Pistol Pete. That was a topic that everybody, well, a lot of people hit on.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
People hit on it because they don't like Pistol Pete. They don't like Fat Joe. And this is the Sound View, not the Sound View Pistol, but this is the Terror Squad Pistol Pete. And a lot of people don't like how they move and the things he did. But, you know, you can't take nothing from the man. The man was getting busy. He did his thing. It's just that you don't have to lie to make yourself bigger. People are going to love you for who you are. Be yourself. You know, be a leader. When you promote your gangster stuff and the work you put in, be like, yo, I put this work in so y'all don't have to put this work in. And I'm going to school y'all, like, when you in that cell by yourself. And years is going by, you know, I can't tell you how many times I cried to myself or I woke up in my sleep crying. You know, like, yo, this ain't never going to end. I'm still here.
That's real.
You know, it ain't a game, man. It's not a game,
It ain't
man.
a game when you can't get, you know, you can't leave. You know, a lot of people be saying to me, you know, damn, I feel like I'm in jail and I ain't even in jail. Nah, you know you're not in jail. You know when you in jail. When you in jail, you can't just go to your refrigerator and open the door. You know what I'm saying? You can't just come out of your cell. When you in jail, you wake up, the first thing you see in the ceiling, first of all, they turn on the lights on at like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. The first thing you see is the ceiling. Like, dang, I'm still here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's real. Like me and M16 talk all the time. And he was like, when he was a kid and he used to always go to my house, he used to deal with my brother. He'd be like, yo, damn, Bill still ain't home. When he coming home? Is he
That's
ever
a
going to
fact.
come home?
That's a fact. They used to always be releasing people. I used to be like, dang, yo, when they gonna let Bill out? You know, and sometimes I ain't even say nothing. I just be thinking it. And we used to always read Bill letters like magazines. We used to just read his letters, you know what I'm saying? Because they were so entertaining and stuff that you were saying, and then we just read it, then go back outside, just, you know, go get into what we was getting into. But, you know what I'm saying? I always wondered that. I said, damn, when they gonna let Bill out, man? And then they finally let you out, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm proud of you, Bill, because you're doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? We doing our thing.
It's about elevation. We
That's
definitely
a fact.
doing our thing. It's about elevation. It's about reaching out. It's about spreading the word. You know, you could be a gangster, or you could have a gangster past, but you could still be positive. Like I said, I want to school dudes how they could get their own property, be worth something, leave something to their kids. Everybody kick this generational wealth, these generational curses that's killing us. You know, blacks can't work together. Every other, you know, nationality work together.
That's right.
We got to work together. We got to put it together. We got to want, you know what I'm saying, for our brothers what we want for ourselves. Once we start thinking like that, start coming, you know what I'm saying, together, we could get somewhere.
Speaking of coming together, now let's talk about being together with, you know, your significant other and everything like that. because we gonna flip now to the Papoose and Remy situation. You know what I mean? And you know that's important. Like when you're going through this life is rough. So when you have that partner and you pick that partner in life that, you know what I'm saying, you going through this journey with, you know, it's a beautiful thing.
Like I said, Papoose and Remy, that's the black love. They was representing for us, man. They
That's
was
a
like
fact.
the Bill Cosby of our time. Like everybody look at Dr. Huxtable and Claire Huxtable. You know, everybody was looking at them as being the role models. Now Papoose and Remy Ma, they was the role models. Everybody looked up to them like, yo, damn, he was dead. He was by her side. He held her down.
Word.
You know, he did a lot of sacrifice to make sure her time in jail was easy, was as comfortable as it could be, where she could actually get out of the situation, get out of her cell or her unit for a little while and see a loved one, see Papoose, see the kids. I don't know who used to come up there and visit her, but at least she was able to get out her cell damn near every day. I don't know how the female visits actually work, but when you're in certain jails, you can get visits every day, max jail, so I'm not sure, but he used to go up there every day and visit her, and that was love. That was a hell of a sacrifice.
That was a good look. Just for Papoose to even do that, you know, it looked good for us as black men. Now it gave us something, yo, you know what I'm saying? You know, it ain't nothing wrong with, you know what I mean, taking care of your shorty and making sure she good and loving on her right and doing those things. Like right now, we starting to get away from that in the culture. You know what I'm saying? We starting to get away from that, you know, and that's why it's not such a good look that they breaking up and everything like that. But, you know.
It's not just the breakup. It's the whole, they just so messy with it. They just messy with it. They broke up. They ain't need everybody in their business. They ain't had to go on social media and pull out all the dirt on each other and make each other look bad. You know, they could have been smoother than that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's a scam or it's whatever it is. I don't think so.
Nah, I think it's real. Yeah, I think it's real.
They could have did better than that. They could have got out the spotlight. They could have did that behind the scenes, you know. Because right now, Papoose and Remy is the real love of hip hop. You know, that drama. They ain't had that drama before, but now they got that drama.
Yeah. And Pap is happy now. He got Clarissa Shields. You know, he's in her corner now. I believe she got a fight coming up real soon. Maybe this weekend, actually. But yeah, he's doing his thing now with her, and Remy is still messing with I don't know if she's still messing with Easy the Block Captain, but you know, you saw how Pap went into it. Pap talked about how he knocked Easy the Block Captain out, caught him backstage at a battle event, you know, and everything. It got messy, you know. It was just going back and forth. Remy was talking about how Pap was broke, and you know how he took her jewelry, and you know she was showing receipts from the jewelry from like a pawn shop or something like that. And it just got real ugly, man. And then, you know, their children still got to deal with that, you know. So that's not a good look. And you could just look at it like, nah, that's not me. But, you know what I'm saying, that might be somebody in your family one day, you know what I'm saying? So
it's the whole hood mentality.
Yeah.
You know, we got to get out this hood mentality and thinking like, yo, well, I'm mad, so I'm going to expose this person. I'm mad, so I'm going to get payback. I'm mad, so I'm going to do this. You know, we got to be thinkers. You know, we have to be thinkers for not only us, our peoples, our kid, our future.
Word.
It's about, you know what I'm saying, being mindful. You don't want our kids to be raised up and see this and thinking, you know, it's okay to cheat, it's okay to do this. And look what we're going through now. You got females want to be men, men want to be females. It's like, yo, it's
the culture is all messed up right now.
The culture, the way of the world today, you know, you got, and the sad part is, and I tell people, you got homosexuals and bisexuals and all this. They have more rights than us as black people. They didn't give us no rights, but they give all these other people rights and everything to stand for. They got you do something that's hate crime. They could have violated you, but the first thing when you retaliate or do something is it becomes a hate crime because they got all this protection. Yep. You be like, yo, I ain't just do that for no reason. You know, but that's somewhere else. We drifting off. Let's get back to black love.
Black love, you know man. Whatever happened to, you know, like when we was growing up, you know, love was in the movies. Love was in the music. You know, love was like something you inspire to have. You know, finding your soulmate. You know, that used to be important. You know, nowadays we kind of got away from that. You know what I'm saying? Now we getting away from that. People frown upon marriage now, Bill.
It's sad because most black men, if they got anything going on for them, they don't want to deal with black women because they think black women is out to get them. And that's bad. You know, we can't trust our own people.
Yeah.
Like even like they always talk about money. Money is the root of all evil, but they making a whole breakup and the whole thing with Papoose and Remy Ma. They make it over money. Now he's a bum. Now he's this. He wasn't a bum when he was coming to see you. Y'all could have worked that out.
He wasn't a bum when he was writing your music.
Y'all could have worked that out. You ain't had to go the route. You know what I'm saying? Y'all went in. Like, if he was put in your life and y'all wanted to separate, you know, everybody's put in people's life for a particular time and a particular reason.
That's right.
So if the time took his course, the reason took his course, you know what I'm saying? And Remy Ma was taking out his life or Papoose was taking out of Remy's life, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason, to help somebody else, to make their life better, that was the cutter of a law, the will of a law, you know, for that to happen.
That's
but like I
right.
said, you don't have to get nasty with it, be disrespectful, say this and that. And it's like, I'm going to jump off a little bit. I'm going to talk about Cardi B and Offset. You know, Offset was just out there.
That's
And
a fact.
he was doing his thing. And Cardi B, she was, from what I see, she was being loyal to the man and holding him down, but it was but so much she could take. Now Offset is upset because she moved on. She gave you multiple times. Every time it seemed like Cardi B was pregnant, Offset was doing some crazy stuff. They was in the news. He was cheating. He had another girl. Like, he just didn't care.
Yeah.
He ain't respect her at all. You know?
Now Cardi B got a new man, Stephon Diggs. And now, you know, she looks like she real happy. He just did something for her real nice and it went viral and everything like that. But in general, and we got another call. I just wanted to say, in general, you know, God removes people from your life for a reason. So moving forward from their relationships.
Let's answer this
Papoose-
call. Let's
All right.
answer this call.
You got it? It's on? Yo.
Yo, yeah, it's Mac Me. You already know Bronx, right? Now, check it out. I wanted to say something. I wanted to chime in about the Papoose situation, and it's simply, like, a lot of us did a lot of time in jail, right?
Right.
And we used to seeing women riding bids out with dudes. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when niggas come home, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they go get with somebody else, especially if she was a fat joint or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But you don't rarely hear a situation where you had a man ride a whole bid, go to see a chick, you know what I'm saying? Like, constantly. They said this nigga was like living on the visit floor. Know he's bringing her the bag. You know what I mean? And I feel like just for that alone, she should have moved a little bit different. She moved as if she ain't give a fuck about that, the time he wasted, you know what I'm saying, sitting around waiting for this bitch. Or none of that. I think that in the whole situation, Remy Ma looked bad, and Papoose is getting blessed by Allah. Because how could you, you know what I'm saying, like, you leave one joint and then you leave a piece of silver and land on a piece of gold. That's Clarissa Shields. But that's what I'm going to have to say. I think
Definitely.
that
I agree
that
with
Remy
you on that.
Ma
one.
looked real bad, man.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. That was definitely a blessing from Allah, Clarissa Shields, because she was dragging him through the mud. She had him looking bad, even in the battle rap scene. You know, she had him looking bad. You know, and I ain't trying to, you know, be her in, but it is what it is. The facts is the facts. That's the name of the show, Untold Facts. These is the facts.
Yeah.
That's my humble opinion, man. Niggas, they having the fat white joint coming up there. They go home and they shit on the joint. You know what I'm saying? But some dudes have some winners. I think that Papoose would have been equivalent to a winner in her corner, especially when a lot of people dropped off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents, man. That's all I
Well,
got.
thank you for the call, brother. Appreciate you.
We're going to say
Salute,
one more thing.
salute, 16 Bill.
Papoose like gangster chicks.
Yeah. Pap
You know,
like
he like
Pap
them
like
gangster
them girls that can protect themselves at all times.
They can protect him too. You know, you can't just run that on Pap, you know.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's your preference. You like what you like. You know what I'm saying?
But
yeah,
black love, man. We
Black
got
love.
to promote black love for this summer.
and in your household, take that with you in your household. You know, these things that you see that these couples go through, they can happen to anybody, right? but love on your partner like it's the last time you gonna see them. You know, everything you do it like it's the last time you gonna get a chance to do it, because you want to think about how you want to be remembered and stuff like that. You know, don't let outside things like, you know, the internet and everything like that influence how you treat your woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You don't want that. You want to be straight up. You want to be able to communicate with your woman, deal with your woman. You know, you don't have to put everything on social media. Sometimes only thing it takes is like, yo, sit down and talk. What's wrong? Sometimes a hug can fix the problem. It's
right.
black love. Hug and show them that you love and you appreciate it. You know, and that's on both ends. You know, because there's always a situation with, you know, relationships. And sometimes you got to put the weight of the world outside once you step in your doors and like, yo, we're going to put this behind us. And, yo, it's us. I'm happy to see you, you know.
That's
And
right.
I hope you happy to see me. I had a long, rough day. You know what I'm saying? I need a hug. I need a massage. You know, I need to hear, I love you, don't worry. It's going to be all right. These are the things we need to hear. Because when we don't hear it, you know, everybody's going to be running around with rocks in their jaws and mad because they ain't getting the outside world is rough, and you come home to that as well.
That's right.
Come on, it's not going to work, man.
You know, and sometimes when your partner comes and give you a hug or, you know, give you a massage, you know, that's what they need. You know, that's really what they need, but they projecting it on you. So you know, return the favor. You know what I'm saying? Don't hold back. A lot of people hold back because they be scared to fall in love. You know what I'm saying? But time is of the essence. You know what I'm saying? You only got a certain amount of time on this earth. You know what I mean? So if you holding back and you messing with somebody and you're not doing it because you've been hurt or you've been damaged, you know what I'm saying? You know, you got to take a chance. You know what I mean? You don't know. You know, tomorrow's not promised.
You got to keep your guards up, or, you know, give a person a chance as well. You just can't keep your guards all the way up. You know, like I said, we're gonna talk about the whole Offset thing now. It's becoming a money thing. Offset money is declining with Cardi B, so now he's trying to take her for spousal support. I know they looked out for each other. She did what she did. He did what he did. It was like, yo, come on, this is a better way to go about it. You know, you a man, you're supposed to make your own money. You've been making your own money. Budget it and do what you gotta do. Don't come to her and she's taking care of your kids. She's holding the kids down.
Yeah,
you know, when she has a relationship, she moved on, you moved on. All them chicks you was out there messing with, come on. Wipe one up and try it again.
You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you know, we the providers, you know what I'm saying? So it's our job to take care of the kids and, you know, make sure they good and everything like that.
Not necessarily. We can't necessarily say we the providers, because you got women out there that got good jobs. They made all these rights for the women where they got equal rights as us.
But in this case, they both got bread. You know what I'm saying? They both got bread, so.
How you know?
I mean, they both famous.
They both famous, but they might not. You don't know all his spending habits. You know, dudes be having 20, 30 cars. You need to cash them in.
Yeah.
You need to do something, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
And so you don't know how he's spending his money, what he's doing, how he's tricking, how he's blowing his money in the clubs.
Yeah.
Like I said, now we going back. You know, let me get back to the Remy Ma thing. The whole thing with the money. She's saying he's broke. You know, come on, man. We have to do better as a people. Remy Ma's looking crazy, and I think Pat Poose. Don't take this wrong. I think Pat Poose might have been better off with Cardi B, and Remy Ma might have been better with Offset. You know what I'm saying? Those are better matches. You know, because
I like that, man.
because like I said, Offset, you want to cheat, Remy Ma want to cheat. Y'all have been made for each other.
That's a fact.
You know, Cardi B wants somebody to be loyal. Pat Poose is loyal. Like I said, that would have been, you know, I don't know what kind of men Cardi B like. I don't know what kind of men Remy Ma like, but that would have been, they was in the wrong situations.
That's a fact. And loyalty is in your character. You know, integrity is in your character. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on in the world shouldn't dictate your loyalty and your integrity. You know what I'm saying? Your love that you have with the next person. That shouldn't influence you to cheat and all of that. Just because Megan Thee Stallion put out a song, Hot Girl Summer, that shouldn't influence all the girls to go out there and cheat and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, stand on something.
Hot Girl Summer.
Yeah.
And what about with Cardi B? I don't cook, I don't clean, and all this. How you think I got this ring? Come on. And it's the sad thing is you got the little girls listening to it. They know these words. They listening to it. And it's like, yo, come on. these little girls. You're setting a bad influence on these kids, and you're not coming back like, yo, that was just a song, that was just entertainment. I don't get down like that. This is how you're supposed to be as a woman. You
That's
know,
right.
We as a people, we not using the village to raise the kids no more. The school system ain't. We ain't gonna even get into that, but like.
And on the flip side of that, you know what I'm saying, Clarissa Shields, you know, that is somebody that, you know, the young black girls could look up to. You know, that's a champion. She's a world champion. You know, 16 world titles or more. You know what I'm saying? She's a phenom. You know, the things that she done and accomplished, you know, that's what I want my daughters to look up to. You know, somebody like that. So just like I got to point out the good and the bad in our culture. We got good and we got bad. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely, as far as these relationships go, and as far as the way it's looked at in our culture as a negative thing now, relationships is looked at as negative because so many people can't be loyal. And it's not a male thing, it's not a female thing, it's a loyalty thing.
Yeah, they act like, but everything, the loyalty, only thing they loyal to is money.
Yeah,
you know?
It's a real thing. It's a real and a fake thing. You know what I'm saying? If you real, you're not going to do somebody like that. You're not going to mess them over like that. I know I'm not.
Yeah, we ain't going to do that, you know?
You know?
It's just got to have boundaries. And we going to go back, like I believe Offset is worth like 30-something million. That's still a lot of money. Cardi B is worth 100. That's good money. Both of them got money. So on that note, they shouldn't even be arguing about money. You know, what you do with your money is what you do.
That's right.
They both got money, and they loyal to their money. They both on their grind. But I'm gonna ask, I don't know, what are they doing to the community or for the community? Are they giving back? Are they helping? Are they sitting down teaching these young girls and teaching these brothers like, yo, black love. Don't let the media fool you, because a lot of people do that for publicity. Mm-hmm. Black love. What are we doing? How you raising up? What you want in life? How you gonna do better?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. So with that being said, you know, I think Cardi B, I always been a fan of Cardi B, you know, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like once a girl do you like that, you know, don't be surprised if she do somebody else like that. You know.
Who you talking about, Cardi B, or you talking about Remy Ma?
I'm saying both of them, really. I mean, you don't know what Cardi B was doing. She could have been cheating too.
But her business wasn't out there. She wasn't putting her business out there. Women know how to cheat way better than men.
Yeah.
You know, Offset just didn't care. Offset was just out there. He's just like he ain't have a girl. He was living his best life. You know, and you had it like, yo, Cardi B is a bad chick, you know? A lot of people would be like, yo, if I had Cardi, I'd never cheat on her. But, you know, dudes, once they get it, they don't appreciate it. Like, there's a story where they say the dude with the Ferrari, he complained that he wanted the Lamborghini. Mm-hmm. But you got the dude in the Honda Civic, wish he had that Ferrari, you know? And he don't appreciate his Civic. But then you got the dude that's on a bike, wish he had that Civic. Mm-hmm. And then you got a person that, like, yo, I wish I had the bike. I wish I was able to ride the bike. You know, I can't even walk. So it's good to want more, but appreciate what you have.
Yeah, that's a fact. Definitely got to show appreciation for what you got. Show that gratitude, you know, 'cause that's how good things come to you.
Yeah, blessings, you know.
Yep.
You got to give out. You got to give. You can't hold on to everything. You gotta be blessed, and you gotta appreciate your blessings. If you could bless and help somebody else, that's what it's about. We helping, just spreading out the word, like streets, the hoods, these gangs, the crime, the robberies, and all that is not good for the people. They're gonna build these jails, and until an individual, till they go through that, where the CEO come to you and be like, yo, thank you for buying my house. And you like, thank you for buying your house. Thank you for putting my kids through college. Thank you for buying my cars. Because once they give you these bags for 40 years, you just secured a job for them and their kids. Second generation, third generation of CEOs.
Yeah.
So you wanna pay somebody through college, pay for their college by getting incarcerated, so be it. That's on you. I'm not trying to do that no more. I did that for a long time. And I did that in both systems. The federal system and the state system.
It's about growth and development, you know what I'm saying? And evolution, you know what I mean? You evolve. You know what I mean? We can't do the same things that we did when we was 16, 17 years old.
But you got dudes doing that. Like,
but that's what I'm saying.
Yo, you know the funny
that's
thing?
not that's
let me tell you a story. Not to cut you off. Let me tell you a story, right? I'm in Pennsylvania. I live in Pennsylvania. I lived in Pennsylvania for the last 7 years. And from time to time, I go to the Bronx. I go in the hood. So I drive through the hood, and no lie, I see certain individuals in the hood, and they don't see me because I'm driving by, whether I'm on my motorcycle or whether I'm in my car, tinted windows, and I look at these individuals, I be like, yo, damn, he looked the same way I left him 30 years ago. He got the same champion sweatshirt on or whatever shirt on. He got the same Jordans because now they got the Jordan Retro. He got the same Jordans that came out in 92 in 2025 or 2024 and got the same, might have different name brand jeans, but he got the same style and ain't grown, ain't developed for the last 30, 40 years. He still look the same minus the gray hair. Like, yo, come on, man. He's like, yo, he damn near got when I left him, he damn near got the same outfit on. Like, what did he doing all this time? Like, he just wasted all these years.
Time is of the essence, man. It's flying. They don't wait for nobody.
He ain't gonna get that back. But I'm here to show you. I'm gonna set my page up one of these days, and I'm gonna show you how you could do better. How you could get a house. You could be a homeowner, because it's possible for everybody. I'm gonna show you the steps. What you gotta do to save your money. How you gonna save your money? How to deal with, like I said, the banks, the realtors, and I'm gonna show you how you could grow.
Mm-hmm.
I did it, and I believe I did it coming from the belly of the beast. I came home with nothing. I worked at 9 to 5, 60 hours a week, saved my bread. I had the little support from my family, and I was able to stack, and I was able to talk to certain people, network, and I got the tools that I needed to elevate, to grow, to get me a house. And I might live in this house all my life, but if something happened to me, guess what? My son got to start.
Right, you can pass it down.
He got it. I'm not living in housing. I'm not living in Section 8. I want something better for my child. I want to teach. I want to be there for him. Because I know by the time he get my age, or not my age, but he get in his 20s, his mind's going to be developing where he either going to have a good job, or he's going to have a career job, or he's going to have his own business. I'm going to put him in position.
Yeah.
He already know daddy go to work. Both of my boys know daddy go to work. Daddy's at work. I'm working right now. I ran around, got up early morning, and when this live is over with, guess what? I'm packing it up. I'm going to work, and I'm giving them my 8 hours. And then after that, I'm back on the grind.
Same with me. I got clients. I got to cut like 3 or 4 heads after this. So
we trying to be on a positive aspect. We're gonna do some music. We're gonna have some music on YouTube. We always gonna drop jewels. We're gonna have some.
I'm gonna be flooding the market this summer. It's gonna be crazy. So we're gonna do a lot of big things. We're gonna have the juices.
Yeah, that's for the people that's in Pennsylvania. We're gonna get on our health kick.
That's right.
We're gonna make these juices, and we're gonna get on some Dr. Savvy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Eat to live.
That's right.
My skin, people tell me, like, yo, you been home that long. People look at my skin, my shine, they be thinking, like, yo, I've been home 7 years. They think I just came home. Drink a lot of water, take my vitamins, and eat to live. Cut out all the carbs. You don't need that. But we're gonna start our little juice movement for all the people in Pennsylvania out here in the Poconos. We're gonna put together, we're gonna try to start, this whole juice thing. We're going to try to create a juice bar for the people because we need one out here.
That's right. Any elements that you guys have, as far as sight, might be your digestive system, might be your pancreas, might be your liver. We're going to have different drinks for that, specifically for those things. So it'll be able to help y'all out. It's going to be very beneficial to the community. We also going to be going to some shelters. You know what I mean? I'm going to bring my clippers. I'm going to hook them up. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be doing a lot of special things.
He's going to be giving back to the community in so many words. It's time to give back. Trying to, like I said, he's going to cut hair, go to these shelters, and we're going to try to line something up for when school starts. The kids is out. So, these mothers are struggling. we're gonna try to give back to the kids, give back to these struggling mothers, where we could cut hair, give them either cheap haircuts or free haircuts. You know,
I'm gonna hook them up. Free haircuts, you know what I mean? Lace them up, give them a nice restart, make them feel good about themselves. You know what I mean? So
we're gonna
that's what we
talk to
doing.
them. I want to go inside. I want to go inside the school system. I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to talk to them and let them know, tell them my story, where I came from, how I got jammed up. I've been coming in and out the system since I was 12 years old. And
That's right.
when I went to the juvenile system, I started from a high level, max type jail, did work my way down. I went to the state system, the same thing, Rikers Island, and went up north to the high classification jails, had to work my way down. And I did the same thing in the feds. They put me in there. I got to work my way from the top to the bottom. They always did that to me. I don't know why, but I just had to go through that. So I went through every step of life as far as being incarcerated. And I seen a lot of things. And I want to teach the kids where they don't have to go through what I went through,
That's right.
where it took me till I was in my 40s to get a job. Y'all can get a job when you're in your 20s, you're 19. Because at the end of the day, if you're lucky enough, if you get jammed up and go to jail, if you're lucky enough to come back home, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be working if you don't start your own business. So you could put all the jail time to the side. That's time I'm not getting back. I gave the system almost 25 years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I never was able to establish myself. But now this is my platform, me and M16 platform for both of us.
That's
to
right.
establish ourselves. And both of us have been through different trials and tribulations in our life. Nobody had it easy. Everything we got, we had to work for it.
And that's right. And I was gonna say, you know, just like Bill said, he grew up in the prison system. I grew up in the foster care system. You know, I was separated from my mother at 1 year old. You know, and all the children out there that grew up like that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever situation you went through, that doesn't make you who you are. That's just something that happened to you. You know what I mean? So we both kind of grew up in the system. I grew up without parents, you know what I'm saying? But Bill's mom was like a mom to me, you know what I'm saying? And that's how, you know what I mean? I've been around Bill family since I was a kid. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I grew up in that foster care system, and you know what I'm saying? I got a book out there on Amazon. It's called Motherless Child. You know what I'm saying? Look it up. It's about my life. You know what I mean? Told from a third person perspective. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm in process of writing a book. I just got to find the time. I'm doing so much. I got the book halfway done. So once I get that together, it's going to be a 3-part series. It's going to be, I'm letting you know, it's going to be about Rikers Island. My 3 years I was on Rikers Island, and with changes and trials and tribulations I went through. And then we're going to talk about up north and then feds, the difference between up north, the difference between the feds. And then we're going to talk about, the next book is going to be what I'm doing now, how I get successful, and which steps I took and which sacrifices I made to become a winner. Because people win at different levels. I'm winning now just being home all these years. I've never been home this long, 7 years. So I'm winning. My happiness
you,
might
Bill.
be different
Word.
from his happiness.
Proud of you.
I'm
man.
happy just to be home, just to be out here, just to be able to talk.
Yeah.
And doors is opening up now as I'm talking. As you know,
and you are,
every
and
day.
that's a success right there. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on what you equivalent to success to. Some people say, you know, in order to be successful, you know, they have to be rich, you know, to be successful. But being rich starts within yourself. You know what I mean? To have that mentality, to be rich is a mentality. You know what I mean? Because if your mentality is rich, then the actions and the moves that you make is gonna, you know,
You don't need
breed
the
off
physical. You don't need the physical assets to be rich. You could be rich within yourself, and you got to take care of yourself. That's why we're gonna talk about the juice bar that I want to eventually open up. Right now, I can say this, right? A dude will watch what kind of gas he put in his car, what kind of oil he put in his car, you know, but he won't watch what he put in himself. He'll smoke,
Man, that's
smoke cigarettes and smoke. You worry about, oh, you got to put the top gas in, or you got to do this. You got to wash my car with this kind of soap, with this kind of wax. Everything, he's praising this vehicle when he's not even praising himself, because he's sitting there drinking a 40, drinking alcohol, smoking K2, smoking weed, popping pills, doing lean. He's doing a lot of stuff. You ain't watching what you put in your body, but you watching what you put in your car. Come on, man.
Come on now.
We could do better. So now we want to get you like, you want to live. Like back in the day, they saying our people used to live to be 100 plus years old. We could do it. We made physically, us blacks as a people, we strong. We made to live that long. But the way the society is, it beats us up. It beats us down.
And another thing that beats us down is carrying, trauma with you and all the things that you've been with through everybody that did you dirty and everything like that. You carrying that with you. It's like carrying weights around on your shoulder and make you look old in the face. You wake up, you look in the mirror, you start seeing wrinkles and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that stuff that you went through, meditate. Let that stuff go. Take a deep breath.
Let it go.
Let that stuff go. Don't carry it with you. Because you carry it with you and it's going to kill you slowly but surely.
That bag is going to kill you.
Yeah. And it's going to make you look old,
Let it go, because people ain't wasting their time thinking about you, wasting their energy.
That's a fact.
They focus on, the successful people is focused on nothing. I ain't got no time to think about what he did to me last year, what he did to me 20 years ago. I'm just moved on, don't mess with him.
Like my man Ice Cube said, L-I-G it, let it go. Remember that?
Let it go. I don't dwell on that no more.
Just like in what was that? All About the Benjamins, when Ice Cube said that, like, let it go, man. L-I-G it, man. Let it go, man. Don't carry it around with you. Because the only thing it's going to do is bring you down. You're going to start looking at life from a totally different perspective, from a negative perspective. And let me drop a gem on you. Nothing positive comes to negativity. So if you're thinking negative, nothing positive is going to come to that. You wake up in the morning and you say, you know what? No matter what happens, I'm going to have a positive attitude. Now you opened up the doors for a whole bunch of positive things to happen to you. Everything that you was praying for and things like that could possibly happen to you because now you have that positive, the door is open. You manifested it.
You should be happy just waking up. Everybody's not waking up.
And we got another call.
We got another call coming through. Give us 1 second.
Yeah.
Where our engineer at? We got to get our engineer. We need our engineer. We're going to answer this call in 1 second. Please don't hang up. Stay with us.
Yeah, stay with us.
Engineer's about to answer the phone right now. Blessings, peace. Who I'm speaking with? State your name and where you from.
Salute. This is Jai H, man. Jai H TV, man. Salute. From Brooklyn. Flatbush. What up, man?
Peace.
What up, bro?
How y'all dudes doing, man?
Good. Salute to you, brother.
Yeah, I'm definitely checking in, man. And, I'm glad I checked out both of y'all, the content that y'all put out. Who this Wild Bill and M16, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I'm Jai H from Jai H TV. I definitely use y'all content on the Pistol Pete situation because I definitely saw his videos that he been dropping. I'm like, yo, nah, I can't just sit down and just allow this to continue to happen. Nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fabrication, and then we got the youth that's sitting around believing this. If dudes like us don't check it, then it's gonna continue. You heard?
Yeah, and it's gonna give them the wrong idea.
Ain't none of this shit
cool. So go ahead.
Ain't none of this cool. Ain't none of this jail stuff cool. Nobody should have to deal with it. This is like modern day slavery. They take you from your family. They mentally rape you. I seen your video. I seen you was talking about you was in a 4 building with me. And you mentioned Slave Reese and all of them. They was on the south side. Yo was on the south side. I was on the north side.
I had the sides mixed up. You was on the south, we was on the north. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So and we was there. So I was in the chat like you were saying, and me and Red Cafe we was there together. And I know the format. Everything you broke down was exactly how it was set up, and that ain't going on like that without us popping off.
That's what I said. I dropped. Well, I didn't drop the video. I made a little video last night, but I'm just going to talk about it right now. In Coxsackie, that's predominantly a black jail. The Spanish dudes didn't never have no say. All the times I've been, everybody that went through, they ran green. They didn't run the cat because the cat is where all the people that just ran out of green, the Spanish ran out of green, they put them in Coxsackie. And people was just waiting in Coxsackie for them Puerto Ricans, them Germans to come over to get back. And the only ones,
that's the whole fact.
The whole Spanish, with the Spanish that was in Coxsackie that was living, They was living because they came from other jails and they been bidden. And they was older dudes.
Yeah.
And they didn't get caught up in it. So dudes respect them as a person. Yeah, they been around. So they let them live. But them young dudes that was coming through was getting crushed. You know, my son Petey, he was from YTC.
So you had dudes that was like Spanish dudes like Big Cisco that fucked with the blacks.
Yeah, Lower East Side, LES.
You understand what I'm saying?
Cisco, Fish You Do. Big up to Cisco,
Exactly.
LES. You know
what I mean? So it's a certain and Cisco was never on that timing. You know that, Bill.
Yeah. I don't know if you know my man Shorts, Brian Shorts, Spank. You know, that's the only thing he dealt with was blacks. You know? And he was around the side. He was in the 4 building twice, you know. I think he got cut in the cat back in the day, but he was a Spanish dude. You got Spanish dudes that do.
No, I know Spank.
Yeah, Spank. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, facts.
He deal with blacks. It's like, yo, if you supposed to be all this and you not racist, you supposed to be preventing a whole lot of situations. And I'm gonna tell you a story. When I was in the feds, right, I was Muslim, so I dealt with the Muslims and I dealt with the New York. And if anything was ever to occur with the Muslims in the New York, I was able to negotiate that and dead that beef. So being in a situation like that, you talk about you this strong, you this and that and third. If it was a situation, you should have been able to dead it. We're going to keep the peace in our jail.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're going to keep the peace. That's
Exactly.
that's what leaders do. You know what I'm saying? So you eager the bullshit that was going on. You know what I'm saying? You was with the bullshit.
I was so upset about the whole situation, man. I reached out to Mo Blanc. You know Mo Blanc,
That's
right,
my dude,
Bill?
Mo Blanc. That's my dude. Mo Blanc
And
from
I'm
the
like,
Bronx,
yo, man.
boxing Mo
I said,
Blanc.
yo, Blanc. I said, I can't just sit back and not say something, man, because this ain't happen like that, bro. You know what I mean? A lot of us, we grew up in the penitentiary, right?
Yeah.
And we was on gold time. Everybody had a team. It's no way no one dude in their team is gonna come through and regulate like that, and we don't pop off.
He
And
ain't
this
even
is
say it to
this
you.
is even before we went in there. It's been going on way before us. Because before us, it was other dudes that Mo Dog and all them dudes wouldn't allow that.
Yeah.
Frazier and them dudes wouldn't allow that.
Yeah, you had
Like,
John
come on, bro.
Rambo, you had Bronx dudes, Brooklyn dudes. You had it wasn't going down like that. You just wasn't cutting the dude. Just like a lot of black dudes, they was on bullshit, but they wasn't gonna let the oppression go down like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they made us come together. Because once they got a little power, they started oppressing the blacks, and that's what made the blacks come together as a people. And it wasn't just no blood thing; it was a black and Spanish thing, because they abused their situation.
So one of the things that I like highlighted and seen, and I wanted the people to see, is when Pistol Pete, like he continuously go on these interviews and he highlights this shit, man. Like if it's a joke or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's like, yo, you know, he's coming up with excuses. He's getting worse as the more interviews he's doing, he's getting worse with glorifying that shit.
Yeah,
And that's the part that I don't like.
Yeah, he.
You see what I'm saying?
Ain't no sucker. He cut a dude that I know that's an official dude. If they ever cross paths, he gonna be in trouble, because he was able to do it and get away with it on some sneak. Cut the dude or however, cut the dude from the back, whatever. He cut my man, official dude, and he ain't a sucker. So I'm not saying Pistol Pete don't bust his gun, but like, yo, come on. You know what I'm saying? And it was a black dude he cut. You know? But like I said, that glorifying it, you saying you're not racist, but what you trying to do, you trying to start a race war out here in the streets. Everybody is living. Blacks,
Trying to get clicks.
you know,
Trying to start
come
a
on.
war.
You got too much going on. Like you promoting poison to our youth.
Yeah.
Why you promoting poison to our youth? Come on, you got to do better than that. You got a platform. You got the time to speak. Take advantage. Educate our kids. Teach our kids. Because these rappers is not doing it. These rappers is promoting lobby boys hustling and selling drugs in the hood, but they kids is going to college. They kids is going to school. They kids is out the hood. You got a platform. You got to use it to teach our kids, you know, and the benefits, and what you're going to get is going to come back tenfold.
Yeah.
You know? It's going to come back tenfold. So it's about, you know what I'm saying, educating, not glorifying this shit.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I put a lot of work in. You know, I talk about it sometimes, but that's just to lead the people in. That's just to get the people to listen. But my whole goal is, yo, listen, we ain't got to go through this. You ain't got to go through that. You know what I'm saying? We can make it right. Let's get this money. Let's live. Because people's alive, but they don't know how to live. It's time to live, bro.
You already know real killers move in silence anyway, man.
And you ain't no real killer because you ain't doing that to the people that's really oppressing us, these white people. That's oppressing us. They got all the power. But you would kill somebody that you would kill a black or a brown. Come on, man. Got to do better. And we know better. So we got to do better.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Yo, you still there?
Okay, I guess we lost the caller. I guess he, you know.
Yo, good looking though, Ja. Yo, thanks for calling in and all that, man.
I appreciated your time. I appreciate you listening, you looking, you checking in.
Yeah.
Peace, you know?
Yeah, with that being said, though, man, we're going to bring this to a close, man. Thank y'all for tuning in and everything. Anything else you want to say, Bill?
Now, this is going to be reposted on our YouTube channel, on my YouTube channel, and soon I'm going to change the name of my channel to Untold Facts, BX Wild Bill, M16 Untold Facts, and we're going to try to keep everybody in tune of what's going on, tell you the untold facts, give you some positive, some folks to listen to. When you're tuning to my lives or you're looking to go on my YouTube page or our YouTube page, you know you're going to get something out of it. We're going to do something for the woman as well. We're going to do something for the hood.
Because black love ain't dead. You know what I'm saying? It ain't dead. It's still out there.
And it's our women teaching our kids. So even though we might not deal with our baby mother, we might not agree with some of the things they do, well, we still got to be there for our kids, man.
That's a fact.
As men.
And remember, treat every day like your last. You know what I'm saying? That last hug, that last kiss that you give your significant other, that might be the last time you see him, or your child, that might be the last time you see him. So with that being said, man, peace, one love. Y'all stay safe out there. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And one for your brothers, what you want for yourself. Peace and blessings. Everybody have a blessed summer and try to stay away from the bull crap. Love is love.
Up at the crib, coming through.
Chain like frozen punch. It's not a man alive that wanna see Rand survive. Next time this man's deprived, he gon' be on channel 5.
In particular, never said much, just analyze the curriculum.